DCeased, The Unkillables, issue 1, Tom Taylor writing with Carl Mostert on the art. This is the first of 3 issues, oversized issues, which is a spin-off to DCeased, which we just finished a few months ago. It wasn't that long ago. That's pretty quick. So
it's still won't read it digitally because I ain't falling for the anti-life virus. Only reading it physically, so I had to pick it up. I'll say this, that I simultaneously love Tom Taylor and hate him. Do you know why?
Because he made you like Jason Todd story.
He did. He did. I was going to put that out on Twitter. I couldn't put it into words, so I decided to save it for the show. But if this is how Jason Todd was consistently written, where he's almost Guy Gardner-esque, I would like him, but he's not written like this by certain other writers.
What you're saying is, in the hands of competent writers, he's not terrible.
Yeah, there's no such thing really as a bad character, right? Just kind of bad creatives.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. Guy Gardner's pretty shitty, so I mean, I don't know if I agree with this.
You, Pete. Honestly, my favorite moment in this book is on the very first page.
Yeah?
Deathstroke ringing a doorbell with his sword.
Oh, sure.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
You know how I was really down in the art on the regular DCeased book? I wasn't really a big fan of Hairston's thing.
Yeah, because you're a terrible person.
Now, that's not to say that there's no problems in this, but I do like the art much, much better than that book.
This is too Frank Quitely-esque, which I love Quitely's layouts. I have problems with Quitely's faces, where they all have that.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Sameness.
There's a couple of faces in here that I really there's a face of Jason at one point that looks downright absurd. But generally speaking, I like the art, especially like faces aren't so hot. But luckily, a lot of these characters are wearing masks, so all the characters in masks look great.
It works out.
And the coloring I really like. I really like the overall layouts and coloring. So really good stuff. So basically, Deathstroke's there. So basically, this is the moment where the virus is, or just after the virus is kind of hit, and Deathstroke's at this house. He's hunting down these like neo-Nazis for killing a church. I think it was people in a church, and basically they're all running from this building. He's here to kill them for, and he kills the ones that are running. And he's like, okay, that's weird. Why are they all running in that direction? What's happening?
There's one that jumps out the window and he's like, I've seen people run before. And then he keeps on trying to run after he's got this shattered leg and he's like, well, that's new.
Yeah,
so he opens the door and it's just a flippin' Cannibal Corpse cover of
zombies.
People. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, so we get a nice little action sequence of Deathstroke just like going through them with his katanas and his guns and whatnot.
And I don't feel bad because they're Nazis.
Exactly, so. But then
that comment, the thing he says there, a house full of Nazi effing zombies. Yeah. The worst of the undead combined with the worst of the living.
But then he checks
just goes to town.
But then he checks his phone to see what's going on, and the anti-life virus gets him. So, but here's the thing: so it goes to black, and then the next page starts off in black, and then we get kind of his vision comes back to him, and we find out that his healing factor actually cures him of the zombie virus. So he was only a zombie for whatever amount of time.
A day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says day 2 by this point.
Yeah.
And he snaps out of it, and he realizes something is amiss. Yeah. So he goes to get Rose, which anytime I can see Rose, it's good. I do need to go finish the priest Deathstroke.
Yeah,
I've got the last 2 arcs to read. I feel like I might just do a reread through the whole thing.
Yeah, we're not at Rose Night, we go to Jason next, who arrives in the
that's right,
the Batcave, and finds the dead bodies of Dick, Bruce, and Damien.
Tim.
Oh, so Tim. Yeah, sorry. Damien survived. Quite right.
That was a problem with the art here. Is that looks very much like Damien's.
It does look like Damien.
I think it's the bit around the hood that looks like it's Damien's collar rather than Tim's hood.
I think it's also the height. I feel like he looks too short compared to the other two.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But I do like what he does here, where Ace comes in, of course, which is good. I fear for that dog now. Horror movie rules and whatnot. And he buries the 3 of them.
Well, I mean, it's worth mentioning that the painting on the wall also has Cass in it, which is actually a nice bit of foreshadowing, because Cass actually ends up being one of the main characters that gets introduced in a little bit, which is nice. At that point, normally, well, what's Steph then? Like, that's not not give Steph a moment. How dare you? Because this is the interesting thing here, is because at first I thought this book was going to be mainly the villains, that, in their story throughout DCeased, but it does actually introduce some other characters who we didn't get to in DCeased, but such as Cass and Jim Gordon and a few others that we get to soon. Because
Jim Gordon's scene was rough.
Because Red Hood, goes into the Batmobile, he's like, okay, is there any Bat family members in the city? And it says like there's 8, and he's like, yeah, but how many have heartbeats? And it's like 2. And it's like, oh, okay, which 2? Who's alive? And that's what leads him to Cass, which is really cool. So he drives off. Poor Bullock, yeah. Well, we go to Rose first. Rose gets out of her apartment.
Because she can't leave, though, because she keeps getting, that her power of premonitions keeps ending up terribly. So, she does get out. He steals a helicopter, Deathstroke, to get her. It crashes. And then we get to the really interesting aspect of this. And that's why I love Tom Taylor.
Yeah, Zombie Man Bat.
Well, no, not just that. Because Zombie Man Bat crashes the copter.
I like how they got Rose out of it by just, okay, well, if your powers are saying don't go through the door, come out the window. We'll just go around it.
Yeah, she goes out to fire escape. Yeah, so we have this crash, and like they're kind of like trying to figure out what to do, and that's when Mirror Master shows up in the reflection, and it's like, yeah, he's safe because he's in the reflective world, and he's like, hey,
the reflective world? You mean the mirror world?
The mirror world, whatever. And he's like, hey, we're here to make you an offer from Vandal Savage, and I'm sure it'll extend to your daughter. So if you want to come with me, these goggles will protect you from the anti-life equation, and we'll go through it. And we actually get this great full page spread of like all these various reflections in the mirror world, and he's like, try not to look at them. It's kind of a depressing sight right now to look at.
It's not pretty.
Yeah, what's going on in the world?
Yeah. So they end up in this at Vandal Savage's base, which he tells a story about a tree lobster, which of course I looked up.
Of course you did.
And it's a real thing that this species of insect got wiped out by rats. This is a island chain off of Australia, except in I think the 1940s, in this very isolated island, they found very few of them, and they're now there's a conscious effort to keep that. This
might have led to my most hilarious sequence of panels in the book, because we get it introduces that they've got a team of villains here already. We've got Solomon Grundy, Creeper, Cheetah, Captain Cold, Shiva, Bane, and Deadshot. And yeah, they all have a little description as well, which is what the dead thing was that Matt was bringing up. And Creeper basically says, we're tree lobsters. We're going to be the tree lobsters. We're going to survive in secret until this apocalypse passes by. And he's like,
I made hats.
Yeah, I made a T-shirt, and we see Solomon Grundy wearing "I'm a tree lobster," and he's like, I've got hats too. And he's like, I'm halfway through writing this theme song. I know we're technically supervillains, but do you think it's too much of a stretch to call us mobsters? Because it would really help with rhyming in the chorus.
And this is where I love Tom Taylor, that in a book that gets as dark as this one is, right? We just had Jason bury the Bat family, right?
like 6-7 pages before.
Right.
Yeah,
and now here we get, not only do we get a science nerd moment, but we get a joke with Solomon Grundy wearing "I'm a tree lobster" shirt.
Do you know that joke? I mean, this was all very funny. I was really into this, and he made me like the Creeper. I don't think I've ever liked before. He made me like the Creeper in 3 panels.
I always thought of the Creeper as an anti-hero.
Sure,
I mean, he kind of is for the most part.
Yeah. So to call him a de facto villain, I think it's all far.
To be fair, depending on the time, you can kind of say the same about Cold and Deadshot as well.
No, but those two are always firmly in the villain pool, that they're almost anti-villains at that point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's a weird.
But this panel, this joke with the mobsters, made me laugh so much. This was a genuinely laugh out loud moment.
So good.
And I think that what makes it really work is he doesn't explain anything here. He just says mobsters, and it would help with the rhyming. And then in your own head, you go, "Wait, what? Lobsters? Oh!" And it's funny because you have to do that final little tiptoe step. You have to do it yourself in your head.
Yeah, because you just go, your mobsters rhyming with what? And then look back up if you
we're the tree lobsters.
Literally, you raise your eyes half an inch and you see the "I'm a tree lobster" T-shirt, and you go, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah, and it makes it funnier because it lets you do the last little bit yourself. And then we go to Gotham, and Cass is in the police station, helping Gordon. She's the only Bat that's coming, and can I just say that she's in her Batgirl outfit, and I love it. And thank you, Taylor and Co. for this.
Yeah, and the characterization of Cass is there, where she speaks in short sentences,
Mm-hmm.
where it feels like she's a little bit more advanced than where she is right now, but not much. So I do like that. So she'll be able to communicate with the rest of them. But so they end up escaping with his help because oh boy.
But Jason.
Jason took the car, which he was never allowed to drive. So he's still being that, jerk Robin. And he crashed it through the
in his defense, how many times has Bruce crashed through a wall?
No, he has. But yeah, and then so it starts shooting. So Gordon realizes, he does a quick math that's not Batman, and whatnot. So he wants to find his daughter.
Yeah.
And I thought this was another cool moment with Taylor where Gordon's like, yeah, I kind of always suspected, but I always just played along.
Yeah, because he says, I want to find Barbara, and Jason's like, oh, give us Barbara's heartbeat or heart signal, and it's it's flatlined, and Cass is like, oh no, that's the first thing you actually hear from her. Maybe it's just her saying, oh no.
No, she had one line before, and which is told Gordon to act now.
Oh, okay.
Right. After Bullock got attacked.
She's like, wait a minute. Okay, so first of all he's doubting it, but then he's like, wait, why do you have like a monitor on my daughter? And Jason's just like, okay, you don't have to, Batman's not here, let's not play the game anymore. And he's taking off his helmet, and he sees him, and he sees, but you're Jason Todd. And Cass takes down our helmet and just says hello. And he's like, Cassandra Cain. And then Gordon just like rubs his eyes and says, Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Barbara.
Right. Oh.
and are they all gone? And he's like, Damian was alive last he checked, but that's it.
Yeah, we know he is because we sort of obviously read the book.
But I mean, they don't know that.
And we knew about Babs because of the Poison Ivy scene, which I like how this intersects with that, is that when they find Barbara's body, she's all tied up by the ivy vines.
Yeah, because Gordon's not willing to just accept. He has to see it. He has to know for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
I actually, before we get to that as well, I really like the moment where Gordon's like, hang on, why am I monitored? And Jason's like, I mean, Bruce is kind of terrible at expressing himself, but this was, his way of going, no, Bruce thought of you as family. He really, did care.
Yeah. And that answers what the two heartbeats were. Gordon was the second one.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. It was nice that it intersects with that poison episode. Actually, it's during this scene though. Jason's face is the close up when he's in the hood, and he says it should have been me. That I don't know what's going on with his face in that panel, but holy shit, it looks bad.
It's because the mouth is tiny.
Yeah, and I typically like this art quite a bit, but holy crap, that face. I was not feeling.
I feel about most of the faces, unfortunately, in the issue.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that, but that's one face I did have a problem with.
Yeah, it's the art's serviceable. It's fine. I didn't mind the hair sign art for the most part in the original mini. I might prefer it to that just because taste is being different and whatnot. But yeah. However, I got a good laugh here when Jason ties Joker's body to the Batmobile.
How big is this Batmobile?
Pretty big, apparently. Yeah.
I didn't get that sense of scale until here, where I mean, sure, it's bigger than a regular car by a bit, but I assume that when it crashed through the wall, or whatever. But up until you've got a body strung on the front of it, I didn't quite get the sense of scale.
That's a great thing. They get to Bloodhaven and they end up tracking people to there's people in this building where the school buses are. Eventually, we find out it's orphans, of course. Yeah. But when they get in and realize it's orphans, Gordon just kind of goes to Jason, "Hey, maybe do you want to remove the corpse of the psychotic clown from the hood of the car? Since his kids are around now."
And he's just like.
Good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. That was good. So some of these kids are actually really smart and they've been kind of holding people off, and it's like, okay, we're going to help you, we're not going to leave you behind, and this is kind of where the book ends, and it's like, we're going to get through this together.
The kids mentioned that there was a hero here who reinforced the doors, bent the back. Do we know who that is? I never quite.
I think so. I mean, what super strength people did we not see in DCeased? Or maybe we did see them, and this is something they could have done during the plot.
The key is that it's in Bloodhaven.
That's why I was named Bloodhaven, and we know it's a woman.
Right. It's a blockbuster? Wasn't there a lady blockbuster?
There was a lady blockbuster at one point, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm forgetting this is kind of just whatever continuity he wants to take from.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it literally could be anybody, right? It could be Orca, right?
I
mean, it could have been. I was just wondering if anyone had any that's who that one must be.
I'm not convinced it's someone that's related to Bloodhaven. I feel like it might just be someone who I've not seen yet that they're going to do a big reveal for later.
Because if it was someone that we knew, they would just say, "Oh, it was Wonder Woman," oh, it was, insert other strong. Because when they reinforce the door, there's like a beam tied around the handles of the door, keeping the zombies at bay. So someone had super strength.
Yeah,
Or
I was thinking maybe
gadgets.
there was someone in that, League of Villains group with Savage that, maybe they thought she was a
Yeah.
hero, but it wasn't. But I mean,
It's
no one there
Cheetah.
has this. It's Cheetah, but they'd have
Shiva.
mentioned that she looked like Cheetah, right?
Right.
And Shiva, I don't think, as strong as she is as a fighter, I don't think she has the strength to just bend bars like that.
No. So,
Yeah.
but it could be something up the sleeve,
Could be,
of
yeah.
Taylor. So, but no, really, really fun issue. I hate that he made me like Jason Todd, which then now he's only the second writer to make me like Jason Todd after Judd Winnick. Because I didn't hate when Winnick brought him back and
Under the Cowl. And stuff
I don't-
like that.
Under the Cowl, Last Days or New Days, whatever it was, which was it explained him coming back.
I
And it
don't
was all a
particularly.
Ross thing.
I wouldn't particularly say that I like Jason Todd in this issue, but he does not detract from anything because he's
Yeah.
not written to be annoying.
Right.
And I like this issue quite a bit because it felt like he was doing using Mirror Master in the Mirror World to explain how some other villains are surviving because they're using these tricks, explaining how some of these other characters and what they're up to. It's like it's like he finished writing DCeased, right? However many months ago he wrote the final issue and went, "Hey, what about all these other characters that I didn't talk about? What could they be up to during this time?" And then that's what this mini is. It's just like, oh, that's what these characters are all doing.
Also, we skipped over Vandal Savage basically saying he's like, yeah, I'm 50,000 years old. I've
seen all this shit
events.
before.
Yeah, we're gonna survive. It's just how hard. How many of us in this room are gonna? What are you willing to do?
Yeah.
Basically, so which I liked, and but it makes me wonder. Like we saw Flash succumb to it. We've seen Superman. Like, what's Cheetah gonna do? Like, is it because she's powered by
I don't think she
Katega?
was inherently immune to it. I think it's just because
No.
she's Cheetah, she wasn't looking at a lot of screens.
Yeah,
Right. That could be it too.
she's hanging
And
out.
like Shiva, I get.
She's
that
hanging
shot.
out in the jungle. There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
She's not seeing it.
Yeah.
I think this is a really fun, playful thing where Taylor's basically just said, "What else can I do with this concept with other DC properties?" And he's just going through a bunch of ones, and they're all fun to read, and it just feels so creative the way he's going through it. So,
Yeah.
I'm not
But it doesn't
surprised.
feel-
This read so fast.
Oh, it
Yeah.
did. I'm not surprised, and it's like a double-sized issue as well. It's not short.
Oh, I got to the end of this and went, "Wait, am I done already?" Like genuinely, I was like, I thought I'd only read like one issue's worth, let alone top
And-
two.
with all the darkness that they've been doing with the Dark Multiverse, there's still an ounce of hope in this,
Yeah.
right? And not just because we know from DCeased how that ended, but even with the way this is written here, like there might be an ending that works out for these characters, where the Dark Multiverse doesn't have that, and I think that's refreshing, especially right now when I know I'm tired of Batman Who Laughs and that whole thing. So to see a dark place, but there's still hope, that's really a skill, and I think Taylor's nailed it.
Yeah, and I think we're all sick of Batman Who Laughs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll kind of put up with him for the rest of Hell Arisen and Death Metal. Like, sure,
Well-
Death Metal makes sense, and and Hell Arisen's like, sure, it's already going on.
And Snyder
Um,
has said though that after Death Metal, well, you probably won't be seeing Batman House now. He said probably, which is always the key word.
Well, yeah,
But-
plans can change.
Right.
Hmm.
So, but he understands people are getting fatigued, I think, with it as with anything. So
Yeah, well, I was
But-
fatigued at least 6 months ago, if not earlier
Sure,
than
Yeah,
that.
well,
So.
but I'm
you
willing to
didn't
just
you didn't suffer through the mini, Pete. Like I
Yeah,
did,
because I was
so,
already fatigued, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
good." So, no, DCeased Unkillables #1 is unsurprisingly great. So, Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm giving this a solid 8.5.
Connor?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 9 just because it was particularly funny amongst all the great other bits.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 9 as well. I think Taylor's just... He's got a way of just making everything fun to read, and I feel like... give him some good big ongoing books, please. He's got Suicide Squad. Give him another one, right? Give him another one. Give him
And
some big, juicy, exclusive contract. I don't care what you have to do. Just
It
get him on
always
board.
impresses me how dialogue light his stuff can be. Like there are entire pages in this with maybe like 2 or 3 lines between them, and which is why it feels so quick to read. But like every line feels impactful and
Yeah.
or funny
Well,
or something.
I think he's a skilled writer in that is that so like Snyder loves to pack the page like Bendis does.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor gets the quippiness, right? And I don't know, maybe because he works on cartoons too. Like there's just something there that it's easily digestible, so it makes it like a quick read or whatever.
There's something
because every book of his like this, or that I've read, is like this.
There's something to be said for each word feeling more important because there's less words overall. You know, when you go through a few panels and there's no dialogue to one speech bubble that's just got one quick sentence. That one quick sentence really hits. It's like, okay, this feels important, what she just said or what he just said, because of what we're doing next.
Think that page with the creeper is the most dialogue in one go in the book, and that's just like this one long joke, and it's just funnier and funnier as it goes on.
Well, and he's got word vomit. Like you could tell, like if this was a movie, he's just completely taken over the scene.
Oh yeah, this is the Beast Boy type of dialogue.
Yeah. Oh my God, Tom Taylor, Teen Titans, give it to me. Hook it into my veins. I need him writing Starfire because I need to read Starfire again.
Oh, if only.